You are seeing pretty robust demand for this EV pickup. I'm wondering what your biggest challenge is on the supply side and how these investments help you solve it.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. The launch itself of the F-150 Lightning is going very, very well. The overall challenge that you mentioned, I think chips are right now the biggest challenge that we're facing, not just for our launches, but in production in general. The third quarter is going a lot better than the second quarter was, but it's still a very, I would say, unpredictable situation. But we're trying our best to keep producing as well as we can, given the chip shortages.
And our understanding is you've got 150,000 reservations for the Lightning, so there's obviously some demand there for this product. When you think about the end customer, is it the same customer as your traditional F-150, a pretty important model for Ford, or is it a new customer base that you're finding?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we have 150,000 reservations now. The customers there's a very wide spectrum of customers. There are customers who are very interested in the electric F-150. F-150, one of the most iconic vehicles on the road. So there are customers who want an electric version of it. But there are several customers who are not in the F-150 fold, who are not F-150 customers today. We call them conquest customers. There are very large percent of our reservations right now are coming from customers who haven't owned a Ford or an F-150 in recent years. So it is going to help us expand our customer base quite substantially.
Obviously, there's a push on the behalf of the Biden administration to invest more in green infrastructure and things like EV charging, and that is working its way in legislation on Congress right now. How do you see that translating in demand for not just this EV pickup, but EVs from Ford more broadly?
First of all, even today, we have one of the most extensive charging networks available in the country. But as we grow volumes and the overall industry grows volumes for electric vehicles, we will need a lot more charging stations. And we're working closely with the Biden administration. They've already committed very substantial funds to expand that charging infrastructure for our customers, which would be fantastic. But I have to say, a lot of customers, for the most part, use their vehicles to commute, which means as long as they plug in the vehicle in their garage every night, they leave the house what would be equivalent of a full tank of gas every morning. And that is something really convenient and really wonderful about electric vehicles, because every morning you leave, the vehicle is fully charged, and you have 300 plus miles of range.
That gets to this question I was asking about your end user, the driver of these trucks. Some of those drivers of F-150s need the towing capacity. They need the power that comes, in some cases, with diesel. As we see the shift to EV, which is coming, it's inevitable. What happens to the power? I think the answer is you need more battery charging time. How do you match those things up?
Well, first of all, the torque is very important to our customers in this segment, as you mentioned. The torque from battery electric vehicles is fantastic, and it's instantaneous. It is available almost immediately. We demonstrated this about a year ago in a video. I think it's available on YouTube and other platforms, where an F-150 battery electric vehicle, Lightning, can pull an entire freight train. So that just proves how much incredible torque we can provide for the customers, and it is instantaneous torque. So this vehicle is going to be just as tough as any other Ford F-150 that we build, and just as capable, if not more capable, from a torque perspective.
Well, Kumar, at the end of the day, you're going to need people to build them. And I know we talked a lot about the semiconductor shortage earlier, but there's also a labor shortage here in the United States. And as you look to hire 450 more workers, are you going to have to pay them more or give them other incentives to get them in the door?
Well, we have a fantastic relationship with the UAW in our entire industrial footprint, and we continue to work with them to find qualified great workers. And for these incremental 450 jobs, I do not see a big challenge. We're really excited to grow our employee base, to grow our production facilities here in Michigan in partnership with our UAW partners.